things that I've been holding in, this anger, this confusion about this certain situation, I'm able to get comfort from letting it out.
It's deep.
It's like, yeah, it's deep. It's like, but those like therapy is those things.
Trees on the beat.
The thing about this episode is that this is actually the second time we're doing this episode.
Yeah.
Because the first time we did this episode and it was supposed to air already.
Yeah.
And for some reason the footage just got corrupted.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and we spent a couple of days trying to figure out what could be wrong with it until we just realized that, you know, maybe we should just do it over because maybe the episode had a bigger plan that we didn't understand, right? So sometimes these things happen and we tend to kill ourselves about it than necessarily kill ourselves, but you know, we tend to beat ourselves about it, but sometimes it's just a step back and see the bigger picture of what the episode was supposed to be, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was unfortunate, but you know, coming back to do it, it was like it was a no-brainer, and it's gonna flow organically either way. So
but the thing about it is, I still have the audio, so I could release the audio,
right?
segment of it,
right?
You know, and then just leave it as an audio segment for just for fun, you know, and then have this one as well. So we see how it goes. I just didn't think it was justice if I release it as audio only.
For sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
So here we are right now, and we doing this so far, and we will talk about like where you come from and so where do you come from?
Yeah, so I come from the Bay Area, Northern California specifically. You know, I moved around a lot in the Bay Area. I lived like different cities. I had single parents, so I moved back and forth between each household, and then you know, there's not much stability as well. So I just moved around a lot in the Bay. I'm what you call like a Baydestrian, just a person who familiar and lives all around the Bay. You know, knows many people from different areas in the Bay. But yeah, come from the Bay. That's all I ever know, or all I ever knew. And then you know, I finally was able to, you know, go to certain states and experience certain states with music as I grew up. But yeah, it's all Bay Area for me.
Yeah. So and how long you been in Canada?
See, I moved to Canada in 2018, October 26th, 2018.
Oh yeah. So you haven't been here for too long then?
Nah, not too long. It feels like long enough that I've settled in for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still a short process.
Yeah. And do you miss home at all?
I do. I miss the people back home.
Yeah.
Not so much like the Bay. Of course, I miss my family and my friends, everybody I grew up with. You know, I'm missing you know, building more memories with them currently, and you know, all I have is to go off of past memories and stuff. But the Bay itself, it's just so over through the years, like it's just gotten so bad as far as just like, you know, just the cities like Oakland and San Francisco. It's not really a welcoming city. They're not really welcoming cities anymore. It's just so like, you know, it just fell apart. Yeah, it just fell apart just with the drugs and just the crime and stuff. So it's not really a safe place like it used to be. You know, and just a lot of stuff that in my past, like I'm just glad that I left behind and shit too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, cause I know like this guy is he's doing his thing there now. Le Russell, he's from the Bay Area, right?
Yeah, he's turning up. Yeah. Le Russell's like
is that
one
close
of those,
to where you was from?
Yeah. That's right up the road. Like that's Vallejo. So it's like it is the Bay. It's considered the Bay. Like the Bay is so big. It's just so many cities within the Bay.
So it's almost like Mississauga to Toronto.
Something like that. Yeah. Like you have the GTA.
Yeah.
The Bay would be like Oakland, San Francisco, Hayward, Richmond, Vallejo. Like it's just a bunch of cities that make the Bay for sure.
Yeah. So does it ever get cold there? It gets cold.
It gets cold for sure. More like when you get closer to like a lot of cities in the
by the ocean.
By the ocean, it drops a little bit more in the degrees. But if you go to more like in the valley, it's a little more dry. It's
Yeah.
a little more hot. Um, but yeah, it get pretty cold. But I mean, not Canada cold for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely different for
so
sure.
like did you like grow up like going to the beach and because that's one
Honestly,
thing I miss about home, bro, is
yeah,
that I like
the water, huh?
yeah, bro, like all my life
Yeah,
would be been like it was always like by the beach or by a waterfall,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
or you, but now it's like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Nah, I mean, not really, which is crazy. Like I when I got older, I think like going to the beach and kicking it with your homies, and that's the thing to do. But like growing up, I never really had like like I guess like beach play dates with the family or nothing. Like
Oh,
it wasn't something like we made like a day out of going to the
oh, for
beach.
real.
Really, yeah. It was maybe I didn't take advantage of it, or maybe just the circumstances of just like
Well,
my
just
mom.
the culture. I think it's just the
Yeah,
culture
yeah.
because for me it was like memories. Like honestly, like I realize in my life now, there's a lot of stuff that I don't remember,
Mhm.
and I think as my mind choose not to remember certain things, so I
Mhm.
lose a lot of memories.
Yeah.
But when I start to talk, like how I'm talking now,
Yeah.
there's memories that coming back to me,
Yeah.
and I always remember like waking up on Saturday morning. Well, your mom waking up on Saturday morning at
Mhm.
7 a.m.
Right.
and being like, get ready, your cousin's coming over, we're gonna go to the beach.
Yeah.
And as you walk out of your bedroom, you could just smell food.
Right. Right.
You know,
Right.
and they pack all the food
Yeah.
in these bowls. Or sometimes we even go and cook on the beach.
Yeah.
They have like this portable ring
Right.
stove,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they carry it and they cook on the beach, and you just spend the whole day
Yeah. Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
beach with your cousins and
For sure.
yeah,
Yeah, and for me, it was more. It was like I did things like that too, but it was more like picnics for
yeah,
us. So like family reunions, family picnics.
yeah,
Like it was like we did certain things on a certain year. Or just just went to the park and did something with the family and
definitely
barbecued at the park. So we definitely did like that same concept, but I don't remember going too much like to
to
the
the beach
beach.
and thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
'cause, like it's funny because this weekend in the barber shop we ordered food from this Trini lady,
Mm-hmm.
and it was dumpling.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it was dumpling with stew chicken, and
Yeah.
it was a salad and that kind of stuff, right? And I was eating it, and when I started to eat it, I get this memory,
Mm-hmm.
and the memory was literally eating the same dish
Yeah.
on the beach
Yeah.
with drinking whatever drink you want to
Right.
drink.
Right. Right.
It could be a mixed drink too, like
Yeah.
rum and coke or something. It's but you're just on the beach eating that kind of food, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I think it's just the culture because, and then you guys are far from the beach. Were you far from the beach?
Uh, some cities I was, some cities I was close. Uh, Man, I moved around a lot, especially when living with my mom. I live with my mom mostly. Like my main like childhood
Yeah,
was with my mom. My mom had like three other kids other than me. She was taking care of, and so yeah, it was just like I guess it was just also hard for her, being a single parent, to like do certain activities
definitely.
because she had so many of us. And honestly, it was like putting food on the table was honestly like more of an importance of trying to like maybe
Yeah,
going
they're
to the
trying to
beach.
survive, right? They're
Yeah,
trying to
like
survive.
survival was like more of the thing. It wasn't until like we got older and we was in like, my mom was in a better place uh, mentally and financially that we started doing things more as a
Traveling and thing.
family and stuff. And then, we got older, was able to contribute with jobs and whatever. But yeah, yeah, the beach really wasn't something that unfortunately we did a lot, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So how was your childhood then?
Yeah. Man, my childhood, was an interesting one. It was I remember like a lot of my memories of just growing up, other than music, like because I started doing music at an early age, performing for like YMCA's, Boys and Girls Club, charity events. That's kind of how I got my started and experience with the music. But on a personal level, my household was just filled with a lot of toxicity, as far as just like, a lot of family members on substance abuse. And then, there was just a lot of long history of just like, just sexual abuse. There was also, uh, just physical violence in the household. So for me, a lot of my memories growing up was just a lot of like, just a lot of trauma for real. Yeah. And it was like, only time like I was wasn't focused on that trauma, or that trauma really wasn't affecting me. It was just like, or I was thinking about it, was just like if I was writing music, creating music, or I was just like away from the house, just with the homies kicking it, and whatever, just anything to be distracted from that. But I was actually talking to my therapist about that, and I was like, man, I don't really remember any like real core good memory of a child. You know, like I have friends like, oh yeah, in the summer, every summer we used to go to Paris, or we went to vacation, or we went. It's like for me, that really wasn't really a thing for me. It was more just like daily survival on like how, you know, my mom was gonna put food on the table, or waiting for the lights to get cut off because she couldn't pay the bill on time and shit like that. So I was definitely, as a young kid, under a lot of stress.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah.
So and how you think that like affected you? Because you said that you like music was your escape
Yeah.
basically, right? Like
Yeah.
arts was your escape,
Yeah.
which is how a lot of artists become artists, right? This
Yeah.
escapism
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of thing, because you could create different worlds.
Right.
Um, so how you think it it affected you?
Yeah. Well, one, it definitely affected my learning process. And I mean like my growth. Growing how I was supposed to. It stunted my growth and my mental state. Just being young, as such, being so young under that trauma, I think it didn't allow me to be a kid. You know, I had to grow up fast, but you know, it also hindered me in a way because I was always in a fight or flight mode with a lot of things. But as I got older, you know, I think it made me into a understanding person, for someone who is going through similar situations as me. It made me want to also grow because I knew that I was in a position where I wasn't very fortunate like other people. So I had to just take what I was brought up into and just had to turn everything around for myself. So when I got older, that I didn't continue that cycle for my daughter when or my any other kid that I continue to have. It's just like, you know, I had took what I was going through, you know, learned through those processes, going through therapy, learning how to cope with certain things, and then ultimately just wanted to know how I could break those cycles. And I think it just made me the person I am today. You know, I wouldn't trade my life that I went, the things that I went through, because it made me who I am today. And I'm just grateful that I'm still here through it all. Because there's been times like, you know, I lost my brother, I lost friends, who've been through similar situations,
Yeah,
and I look at that and it's like the fact that I'm still here. You know, I still have time and opportunity to make a difference.
yeah.
Yeah,
So you say you lost your brother.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I lost my brother in 2017. He had just did 9 months in jail before he came home, and then I want to say maybe like a week from being home, he had a overdose on heroin. Yeah, heroin overdose, and I was like one of the last people he called. He called me to kick it that day, and I had told him I was just going into work, but I hit him up when I got off of work, and then an hour later, I got a phone call. It was like your brother's blue. He's not breathing. So then I had to call my mom, and that was a whole process of meeting him at the hospital. He was brain dead because he lost oxygen, and then yeah, there was just a that was just a rough. From there, it was just like a rough 3 to 4 years after that. Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's how I lost him to an overdose.
And he was older than you, right?
Yeah, he was 7 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah,
So were you guys close?
yeah, we was real close. Yeah, real close. All me and all my siblings are close. Except for on my dad's side, I have like two siblings that I'm just getting to know as
Yeah.
of recent years. But yeah, me and all my siblings are real
So
close.
so was like a standout memory that you have of your brother? Like who
Mhm.
was your brother? Like if I was to
Yeah,
like for me who never knew your brother, if
yeah,
you was
yeah,
to
yeah.
describe
Right. Yeah, my brother, man, he had a I mean, he was another person dealt with a bad hand in life too. Uh, you know, just he had just a lot of issues as far as like not knowing his dad and just of course the drug stuff and everything like that. But outside of that, I mean, he had a big heart, you know. Um, he meant well with everything he did, but his life was just hard, so he tend to turn to certain things that felt comfortable to him, even though they might have not been good. Um, you know, I felt like he was caring. He was very loving, very supportive of me and my music. He would every time I do some new music or his friends would be over, he'd turn on the beat like, "Can rap for him, rap for him." So those are like when I think of my brother, those are like core memories I think of. Is just like how supportive he was, him coming to all my shows back home. Um, I had a logo at the time. He got my logo tatted on his hand.
Mm,
Um, so he was just very supportive. Like I said, a big heart, but he was just also lost in many ways. And
definitely.
yeah, lost in many ways. But overall, man, yeah, he was
Yeah,
a good person.
yeah.
Yeah.
In is crazy to hear like these kind of things because it's not a culture that I grew up with. I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with that kind of
Right.
like our culture was more like there's a lot of like gang culture and stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't like drugs,
Right. Yeah.
not as much like people who was on drugs, mostly homeless,
Right.
and most people who don't grow up in that kind of society believe that it's a choice,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
more than just like how most people think that people in gangs is a choice, and they don't
Mhm.
really see it as a system
Yeah.
thing,
Nah, for sure.
like systemic, it's
Yeah.
like where you grow, when you grow in a place where all you see is one thing,
Yeah.
you know, you can't really see outside of that
For
one
sure.
thing.
Yeah.
It become the family name or the family
Yeah.
business,
Yeah.
and it had to break away from that.
Yeah.
So in some weird way, do you feel like what happened to your brother saved you?
Yeah. For sure. Because I also dealt with like substance abuse, like opioids, it was
Mm-hmm.
like pills. So um I know like after he had died, there was a big eye opener as far as like the whole substance abuse thing, because I was like, man, that could be me, that could have been me before him, or if I continue doing this and going down this road, uh it could eventually be me, because those things only lead to two roads. It's like you either go to jail or you die from it.
Yeah,
So uh and yeah, he's done both, went to jail and died from it. So it's like eventually there's a time where your time it runs out.
definitely.
So for him, when that happened, for sure was an eye opener. I still was dealing with the situation of being addicted to pills and stuff uh shortly afterwards, and just trying to, I guess, still finding that way to cope by using. But it also was just what also was an eye opener and helped me a lot was just moving to Canada,
Yeah,
because I was
definitely.
away from all the shit that was holding me down and bringing me down. Um, and then then of course my family, my daughter, and you know having my own family. Um, that was like, I'm no longer living for me. Like every choice that I make
Yeah,
from here on out is gonna affect my
yeah,
daughter.
definitely.
So that was like, it was like those three stages: my brother dying, moving to Canada, and then finally having my daughter. And that
Yeah,
was just like,
I think I think daughters save a lot of us.
mm-hmm,
I think like having
mm-hmm,
a daughter, because it's like eh, having a daughter give you a soft side,
yeah, for
you
sure,
know,
for sure,
and it's something that at first you don't really have. I don't know about your experience, but
yeah,
for me it was at first even when she was just born, like most people believe that it's like as your daughter born, you flip the switch,
yeah, yeah,
and for me it wasn't that. For me it
yeah,
was more like my daughter forcing me to tap into my emotion,
mm-hmm. Nah, for
and,
sure,
and telling me, oh, daddy, this hurt.
yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
Right.
wow, that's
Right.
somebody just tell me that it hurt,
Yeah.
and it make you think about things different,
Yeah,
I was
for
watching
sure.
a podcast last week, bro, and it was saying, it was talking about like loss, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy was saying, every time you hug someone
Mm-hmm.
that you love, picture picture just picture that you lose this person,
Mm-hmm.
and you ask yourself if you could get one more hug with this person, and this is the one more hug.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know how to
Right.
change the way you hug that person.
Right. Right.
And it's like when I watched that podcast and I went and I read a book for her
Yeah.
and I hug her. I hug her for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She's like, "Daddy, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Are
Right.
you okay?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even
yeah.
like her that's asking, "Are you okay?" to
Yeah.
me was like,
Right.
it make you think about it from a different
For
perspective.
sure. It also lets you know that you're doing good because you also you teaching each other at the same time how to tap into your emotions. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? So yeah, it's like the fact that they can be so young. Like my daughter's 5 years old, and the way she can articulate and notice moods and feelings, and just the way you say certain things, and your like the way that the fact that she can articulate and
Yeah.
understand that, it's like a beautiful thing because it's like I know at that age when I look at her and know that at that age when I was her age, I
It
didn't
was
tap
different.
into feelings. Like it
Yeah.
was just like, why are you crying?
Yeah.
Like,
Like your reality
yeah,
is so much different to theirs, bro.
for
Like,
sure.
like what they see as normal.
Yeah.
It's like even sometimes like when I take them to Trinidad and they jump on my back or something, and I'm like, like a lot of kids take it for granted,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
that, and I understand that they do,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that a lot of kids take it for granted. I see even in the barber shop, sometimes kids come with their dads,
Yeah.
and the dad's so supportive and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, bro, you have a good dad, bro.
For sure.
That
Yeah.
like what you have is, it's not something that is normal. It should be normal,
But it's not, unfortunately.
but it's not normal, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
so don't take it for granted. Don't
Nah.
take your father for granted. Don't take
Yeah.
your mother for granted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because some people do have it like that.
Yeah.
You know, so that's just how it is sometimes, bro. So when you came to Canada,
Mm-hmm.
did you come on like a student? You came as a student,
Nah, I came here
or you just crossed the border? You just
across
crossed.
the border. I know, like when you come from the States, it's like you have a certain window of days you can stay here.
I think it's like 6 months or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I pretty much just rolled that out. But in the process of doing that was just filling out the papers of getting my work visa, and then eventually turned to PR. And then once everything got solidified, I was just
Oh, so
strictly straight to work, strictly straight to
you got married before you came here?
yeah. No, I got married when I got here.
Oh, you got married here?
Soon, yeah. So that kind of also helped the process because it was like marriage
Yeah.
certificate was when we applied. It was already a marriage certificate. Baby was on the way. And then I came down here and immediately applied for everything. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like I had already been previously visiting. So like the record show, I've been down here. Then when I finally decided to make that move, I was like already on the process of doing everything. Like
Are
get
you a
my SIN
citizen?
number. No, not yet.
No?
Not yet.
Oh, I just did my exam last week, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
did
renewed my
exam.
PR, so I'm good till 2029. But I've been in here so long that I could go for the citizenship now. So before it expires, the PR, I'm gonna just go ahead and
Yeah.
next
Bro,
after I finish school, I'm gonna just go ahead and
Look, it's quick, bro. I
yeah.
would say let's do it. 'Cause I did mine.
yeah.
I applied in August and I
Yeah.
did my exam last week.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should just do it. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm gonna get on that for sure.
Yeah. So how long you guys been married?
Yeah. So 2018, November 2nd. We just had our anniversary.
Oh yeah, so that's 6 years.
6 years.
So 1 year less than me. That's
Yeah.
And how did you know that it was time or that she was the one?
I mean, prior to having the baby and everything, like I said, my brother had died in 2017, so not too far off from when I started, talking to my wife and stuff. So, um, I think at this just at the point in my life where I was at, and and how easily she was a person for me to talk to, and just not feeling like the judgment, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, from someone, feeling being able to feel heard and understood.
Yeah.
Um outside the family, someone that's being from outside the family.
Yeah.
Um,
And then it's good to talk to someone with a different perspective
yeah,
because they could tell you like that's not normal in
right,
in your mind.
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was talking to a girl at a restaurant I used to work at, and I was telling her about one time when I was younger, we went to this party,
Mm-hmm.
and at the party, like after the party, one of my boys he saw some of his other friends from
Mm-hmm.
another part of Trinidad, and he was like he gonna go home with them.
Mm-hmm.
So while we were chilling, waiting for Jason, for my brother to come and pick us up,
Mm-hmm.
everyone started rushing towards us, and people was like, "Yo, a guy gets stabbed, a guy gets stabbed."
Mm-hmm.
So we was like, "Yo, let's leave quick."
Mm-hmm.
So we get into our cars, we leave. The next day, I'm playing in a soccer tournament. My coach calls me off the field to tell me that it was my friend that got killed
Mm-hmm.
in the fight.
Yeah.
And I was telling this girl the story, and she's like, "One, that's not normal, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it actually not normal. But when
Yeah.
it comes from a place where it is normal, then it is normal.
Right.
But that don't mean that
Facts.
it's normal. It's not
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
happen. So
Facts.
is
Yeah.
and it's weird because when you talk to someone with a different perspective,
Yeah.
it really make you see how big the world is.
Yeah, and that's what it really was. Like it just being able just for her to open my eyes to a lot of things. But like I said, being that person who like accepted all my flaws so quickly, right? Like it just happened. It happened so fast, happened organically. It just was like it was kind of like it got to a point where it's like it was just a no-brainer of like this is who I want to spend my life with. Like this is someone it that I see potential in, and there's also someone who's seen more potential in me than I seen in myself.
Yeah.
To be fair, like yeah, it was just like when you meet those people like who see more in you than you actually see, like those are the people that you want in your life because they could somewhat help you navigate through certain things you might not be knowing because you got a blinders on and you so blind from just so much stuff that you've been through.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Trauma, and the way trauma really works, I feel like trauma works in a way that makes you punish yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you feel that you're not worth
Yeah.
nothing, and what happened to you,
Yeah.
supposed to happen to you.
Right. Yeah.
And everything that's good,
Yeah.
you shut it down.
Right.
Because it must have a
Facts.
it must have a downside to it. Like
Right,
why this
right,
person
right.
being nice to me right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
This person must want something, or
Right.
or if I get too close to this person, then I will lose this person. And
Yeah.
that was one of the issues that I had with my wife when we just got married.
Yeah.
Was that I felt like I didn't want to give
Right.
more of myself because it could be taken away.
Yeah. Because it's like you don't want to run somebody away.
Yeah.
Or it's like run them away as far as like, damn, you got more shit than more baggage than I thought, and it's like that can tend to scare certain people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it really could, because like when you commit yourself to someone, even if as a friend, like you have some responsibility in that person's life, and you still use your time to invest in that person. So it's like you could choose not to invest in people that you don't want to invest your time in. So the fact that there are people who actually do and don't have to, it's like, yeah, those people are like worth keeping around. They're worth you working on yourself so that way they can continue to stay around. You don't not only just like don't stay in that position because people eventually do get tired, but it's like it's good to have those people who are willing to invest in you, spend their time with you, go through whatever they need to go through your growing stage.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So do you still have a relationship with your dad? Like
Yeah. Me and I got a great relationship with both parents. It's just the fact that like, I was a mama's boy. All my siblings were my mom. My dad, me and him was more of like a homie type thing. It's just, we connected a lot through the music.
did he do music as well?
Yeah. He played in a band when he was young. He still could play his guitar.
Like a rock band?
Nah. So he did like funk music.
Oh,
Yeah. He could play he could play anything. Like he's remarkable. Like it's crazy talented. But but yeah, he's done music my whole life. So it's like music was like my first language, really. You know what I'm saying? So um but yeah, like I connect with my dad on the music tip. Like, I tell him a little personal stuff here and now and then, but my dad really wasn't that for me, like the emotional
Yeah.
support. It was more my mom, really. And I was just around my mom and live with her more. So I was able to connect with her differently, more personal on personal things. But as far as a relationship, like even though I had parents who, that weren't together a lot of the times, the relationship between both of them is still
Good.
solid. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, for me too. I try to keep a relationship with more my mom. I don't really talk to my dad that much, and it's not even like an animosity thing.
Mhm.
It's just like I feel like with okay, it's like even with my actually no, I talk even with my I have some cousins
Mhm.
who's uh like they and their dad went through something similar. I went through with my dad
Mhm.
later in their life,
Mhm.
but they like made amends and stuff, right?
Mhm.
But for me, I feel like because my dad he was always there, but he wasn't there, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we never really built that relationship
Right.
that we should have built when we was kids.
Mhm.
So now it's hard to build that relationship, you know.
Yeah. See, that was the thing too. Like, unfortunately, like me and my little brother got the same dad, and that was kind of the situation with my dad and my little brother. Like, my dad was there, but they're not close, and there's a lot of plethora of many reasons why. But like, my dad like spent a lot of time with me and my music. I can honestly say I feel like maybe he didn't focus on the other kids too much,
Yeah,
and so he like even though my dad was there, because the connection isn't there, it's like
it's
it's
different.
hard. Yeah, it's different. Like, yeah, I see you a lot. You my dad. But we don't connect. I
Definitely.
connected with my dad because we had the music
Yeah,
thing.
you had something to go, right?
Yeah, like we had something to build off of,
Yeah,
and so I feel like the same thing with my little brother. Like even though he was there, they didn't really have a connection. So it was like as they got older, the phone calls weren't as frequent because it's like
definitely.
we don't connect on nothing. Yeah, you my
Yeah, nothing to
dad, but
yeah.
yeah. So
And
yeah,
it's not,
yeah.
and it's not even like a hating bro. It was
Nah.
more just like honestly, I remember being young and um like our nickname for my dad was Robocop.
Mm.
You know, because like whenever he came home, it was like, okay, okay, you guys go inside the bedrooms because I'm gonna watch news.
Mm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then or watch cricket and like I remember seeing him laugh. Like I could count how much times on my hand
Mm-hmm.
I seen my dad laugh.
Mm.
And out of the 5 times I count, one might be with us, with
Mm.
something that we did. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like a joke that we had.
Right.
It was like something that happened that was like, ha, you
Yeah.
laugh, you know?
Yeah.
But we never really sit down and laugh
Right.
and do these things, you
Yeah.
know? So now it's like okay, like for instance, we went to Trinidad. I took my kids to Trinidad and
Mm-hmm.
my wife was talking to him. Christy was talking to him. And she asked him if it's boring here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then he said, yeah, he said the silence kills him sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I'm like, it's sad because I wish we could talk more, but God have a way of giving you what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And when we was younger, he wanted the silence.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And now God was like, okay, now you have the silence.
Yeah.
But the silence is
Yeah.
is crippling, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, so it's crazy that we don't have a relationship, but he still teaches me
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously.
Yeah.
Or subconsciously he would. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the lesson I learned there was noise is great, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I come home, I could hear my kids from the time I pull up in my driveway. I could hear screaming, "Oh, give me back my pen!"
Yeah.
Yelling, fighting, do hit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I walk inside and Christy's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just walk inside and to me I'm at home.
Yeah.
You know, and I could take this same situation
Yeah.
and put it in the smallest house
Yeah.
in the poorest country and I'll still be happy
Yeah.
with it because the noise is memories, you know,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
every day is a memory. You know,
Yeah.
like every moment is a memory. Like this, this conversation is a memory.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and I believe that life is built off memory, bro. And
Yeah.
life is not built in the moment.
Yeah.
It's built off understanding that the moment gonna pass.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
accept the moment. You
Yeah.
know, and
Facts.
it does help me like assess different things and just be there. You know, like sometimes I'll be tired. I have work to do, and be reading a book for bedtime, and I'll be trying to rush the book, skip some pages. You know?
Yeah.
And then I tell myself, I'm like, bro, imagine some days she's not gonna ask me to read her book no more.
Facts. Nah, I be thinking the same thing.
You know,
for sure.
Yeah, some days gonna be like, oh yeah, dad, we going to college. You know, or dad, this is my boyfriend, or dad, this is my husband. It's like, oh, what? Stop.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you remember this time. So this time is the memory.
Yeah.
You know, so I try a lot to be grateful for it, you know, and that's what really helped me. Is I see how we end up, and it's still sad because it's still my dad. You know, like I still really wish that I could have the relationship as other guys have with their dads, and be like, yo, you see, you see what happened with the game today, and but it's just not like that no more, you know. And it's just growth, bro. But it would teach me how to be a better dad for mine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what basically like my experiences did for me. It was like I took, of course, what was good, applied it to myself, and then everything that I didn't want to become, it was just like that's what helped me grow into the person I am today. It was like I know that I don't want to do that. I know that I don't want to continue that cycle to continue, or just those habits. Like those habits just gotta die out. Yeah.
Are you gonna have more kids?
I want to have more kids, but of course the decision ain't up to me, of course. But I mean, if it's in the plan, you know what I'm saying? If it's in the life plan, let's have definitely have more kids. If my daughter's gonna be the only one, then my daughter's the only one. Yeah. I would love to have multiple kids. I think too that's just when that money get right, that's when for sure it'll probably be a little bit more easier.
Yeah.
Because money does make it easier.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know, money is king, bro.
Yeah.
Cash is king. So I'm done though. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
But I like we had a discussion, and I told myself that once we start to make that kind of money, then I'm gonna go back and have some. You know, I tell my wife I'm gonna do it with or without her.
Yeah.
I'd be like Bob Marley up in here.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking. But I'm done for now because I tie my tube, bro. I tie my tube. I say, "Dog, fuck that."
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to cut that.
Nah,
Yeah. I don't want to cuss, but So I'm good for now. But for you, your kid is what 5?
5 years old. Yeah.
So she's getting old.
Yeah, she's getting older, man. She's getting older. She's asked about siblings every now and then, but like I said, it's not. It doesn't feel right now anyway, or in the cards.
Timing is the timing. Right?
Yeah. So if the timing never comes and it feels right, then for sure, I'll definitely be down to have that conversation and then go forward with it for sure.
Yeah. While we're talking about like the times and like enjoying the moment and that stuff, what's your perception of time?
Yeah, time. I've had this conversation a few times with a couple people. Sometimes I feel just like time ain't real in a sense. Like, we put a clock. Somebody made a clock and put certain time to it or whatever. Like, but like time, I feel like, it's just like it's not really time, it's just like experiences and like, like kind of like you said, it's just memories and moments. Like it's just they are memories and moments, they fade. Like
Definitely.
They happen, then they go, and then you got to create new ones. So I feel like time is endless, really, until it's not, till you leave this face of the earth. But even then,
definitely, and
then it keeps going on even after you.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the thing that lives on when you're gone are those memories that you create with people that you get to document on camera or through whatever.
So you feel like based on what you're saying, right? You feel like time has passed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I
That,
kind of
yeah.
feel like. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's yeah. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But you're right, because time is like you have time and you pass the time. So that,
Mhm.
and you keep passing the time. So like
Yeah.
for instance, the situation of my father, he passed me a bunch of time.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great gift.
Yeah.
Because he showed me the importance of the time.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
basically passed me a bunch of time.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I feel like because what you said as well, you said that people put a clock,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not really. And I agree, because it's like a measurement. Like people
Mhm.
put time for people who do, like the clock is for people who don't know how to manage time.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And just so that you could know, but when is one is one, right?
Yeah.
But it's like making a cake.
Mhm.
When is your first time making a cake? You need
Mhm.
measurements,
Yeah.
a measuring cup.
Yeah.
But if I go to a baker who makes cakes all the time, they don't use no measuring
Yeah.
cup,
Exactly.
because
yeah.
they
Yeah.
understand how to manage
Right. Right.
each
Yep.
each component.
Right.
And yeah, so I think that's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I think that time is horizontal
Mm-hmm.
rather than vertical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I remember you saying that last time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like time goes to the side
Right.
rather than goes up. I feel like who I am at 80 years old
Yeah.
is happening simultaneously right now. Or like for instance, last week when
Mm-hmm.
we did the episode, and I said like, what happened next week couldn't happen, or it happening already.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time you was at my house, but everything happened in between. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to think about it that way. I just feel like I like our time is experience.
Yeah.
And without the experience, you don't have time.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you stop experiencing, the time done.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
So I think time is experience. So that's
Yeah.
why you just have to embark in where we doing now.
Yeah. Live in the moment for sure.
Was your if somebody else, if you was to describe your style of music,
Yeah.
right? Not the genre, but
Mm-hmm.
the style.
Yeah. 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 Just my music. It just comes from a very vulnerable, honest, place. Just being able to like tell my life story, put it down in music, and then be able to release it to the world for people to hear, and then get feedback like, damn, I've been through what you've been through, or that's your story similar to mine, and it being able to resonate with people uh is a good thing. So it's like when I would describe my music, I'd just be like, somebody like, what can I look forward to? Just look forward to like honesty. Look forward to vulnerability. But there's also like look forward to like growth. Because even though there's trauma in there, there's life experiences, there's growth in that. You know what I'm saying? There's lessons in that, Um, what some of us may describe as losses, I look at it as lessons because it only just taught me how to grow.
How to be better.
Yeah, how to be better. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
I know earlier you mentioned I did therapy, right?
Yeah.
Do you think therapy helps you create better?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm even like my music now. I'm even talking about how I'm in therapy and how therapy is important. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just touching on mental health. A lot of my music is just touching on mental health. Um, not in a way just like shoving it down your throat and like this is what like I'm trying to like push. That be the main push. But just letting you know like it's just the whole like again the growth thing. Like just being able to grow and just other than music, like therapy just helps me just reset everything when I'm feeling like overwhelmed or angry or something. Like I know like I now have tools, to and I have an outlet other than music to express myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I know how to turn certain things off, when my daughter walks in the room, when maybe before I didn't know how to do that. Like I didn't know how to control my emotions. My emotions control me, my thoughts, my those thoughts that keep you up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I know how to, turn those off a little bit easier. Still get those nights where it's still going, but now I know how to regulate. You know what I'm saying? I know how to um, talk better with people when I am, hey, I'm feeling like this right
Yeah.
now. So let me get a moment, and I'll talk to you when I'm in a
Yeah.
better space.
Calm.
Yeah,
Like communicate too.
yeah, as a before, like it was just like I ain't know how to do that, so it was
Yeah.
just pop off. Like I'm on go mode. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes just resorting back to that being growing up, having to get in that fight or flight mode. It's just like you either tuck your tail in and hide in the corner
Yeah.
because of something happening, or your first reaction is just to go off.
Yeah.
So therapy helped me, regulate that.
And because you mentioned about communication and that kind of stuff, right? So how does it help you become like does it help you be a better husband though?
Yeah, yeah, man. And I wasn't even I'm gonna be honest, like I wasn't even the greatest of that, you know. Just had my faults, like, you know, just just dealing with a lot of stuff growing up. Um, that goes back to what I was saying, like a lot of stuff hindering me and hindering my growth is because I didn't know when it came to relationship, I didn't know how to talk. I didn't know how to communicate. Because I seen with my mom and dad how they communicated, right? So it's just like it was a habit and something I was familiar with on how I reacted with my relationship, right? It's like I didn't want to talk. I just want to go off because that's what I seen in my household. Like it was instantly not that I like speak to my wife like down on her or call her names, but I mean as far as like the reaction, right? The reaction is or the tone of my voice isn't necessarily pleasant or the way you talk to anybody in general, you know what I'm saying? Um so therapy helped me with that aspect. Um and then like just there's the whole like, passed down from like the family with like like sex abuse. Like, my mom went through it, cousins went through it, I went through it as a young kid. Um, you know, my brothers went through it. Like, it's just a long line family history of just like trauma.
When you say sex abuse, I mean like sexual abuse.
Yeah, sexual abuse. Yeah.
Oh
So it's
shit.
like, like a lot of my family is just went through sexual abuse. And so
Okay.
it's like me at a young age being exposed to sex so young, um, and being exposed to sex in a non-educational way. Like, hey, this is the vagina, this is the penis. No, this was like, we're not talking about that way. We're talking about being exposed to sex the way a kid isn't supposed to be exposed to sex. Like, so that as me growing up, that hindered like my sexual drive. That's hindered the ways that I approach the way I approach sex with like borderline addiction. You feel me? Because I'm exposed to it at a young age, and it's just like now it turns into infidelity when I'm dating, when I'm having a girlfriend, and like it's just all these things that come into play, right? That you don't really know how to navigate through.
So you see, that's normal. Again,
Yeah,
you go back to the
yeah,
norm, right?
yeah,
Is that this is how it's supposed to be, right?
yeah,
And you don't know,
yeah.
and you I don't know.
Yeah. it's
it's
like
deep.
yeah, it's deep. It's like, but those like therapy is those things that like you got those tools now to
It
like
helps you break those
yeah,
demons.
and it's like those things that I've been holding in, these things that I've been holding in, this anger, this confusion about this certain situation, I'm able to let that out and then not only that, I'm able to get comfort from letting it out, and I'm able to get comfort for someone who has experience educational wise, like when you tell them, hey, maybe I do have a sex addiction because I was exposed such a young age, and I was exposed to sex in a way that I wasn't supposed to be exposed to it
Yeah.
in. And they tell you, no, that's exactly what it is. You know what I
When did you
mean?
start therapy?
I've been in and out of therapy for like the last 4 years, but I've been consistent with it for like I want to say like 4 months now.
4 months.
Yeah, yeah. So it's been a thing.
I mean, that's good, and I could cut this out
Yeah.
because there was sometimes on Instagram I was like, I used to be like, yo, this guy wild, and how this guy can post these kind of things, bro. Yo, this guy be posting these things. I'm like, bro, if I post one of these things, I'm going to have my head on a kitchen table.
Yeah.
You know, but it's good, bro. And it also shows the growth in Candace too, right? It shows that she actually believed that that there was somebody inside of there that
well, she, like I said, she was, I told her all my secrets, all my baggage that I was dealing with. And so it's like, you know, she understood. She was willing to stick by my side, you know what I'm saying? But of course it took me to make certain steps, right?
Definitely.
Like it was like, it took me, like when I had when I was dealing with opioids, my opioid addiction, it took me to go to, you know, NA meetings, you know, to know how to not do drugs anymore, because my daughter's now here at the house and in our life. And it's like, my daughter's not going to grow up watching you be high off of drugs. Like, either you fix it or there is no us. So it's like those steps, like, and then so it's like, okay, go to NA, and like, you know, you taking those steps, okay, now completely free from opioids.
It's crazy, bro, because these are things that a woman's supposed to do, a wife's supposed to do, right? It is supposed to be the norm, that, because honestly, bro, as a man, you're the head of the house, and if the head is shaky, then the house gonna fall for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so for her to understand that, for us to be something, not even like in a relationship, you know, but for us to become a unit, we had to have a strong, unstable head, which was you know, and then you kind of realize it, and yeah. But that's crazy that all those things you went through. So last week I made an Instagram post talking about how I want to start therapy, you know? And the reason why I did it is that I was writing, I don't know if you know, I'm writing a book right now.
Okay.
So I started writing it a couple years ago, and then I put it on ice because I used to go so deep into memory that I hated going there by myself. It was dark, right?
Right.
And I started back writing it, and I am using ChatGPT. ChatGPT helps a lot, but it's my writing. But I asked it to help me say what I want to, help me communicate this
for sure. Yeah.
This easier, you know.
Yeah.
Even that in itself is something that I needed to go to therapy for, because I grew up thinking I was dumb.
Yeah.
That's why the name of my production company is Dunce Productions.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, because
right.
I grew up with everybody telling me I was dumb, except for my mom and a few of my cousins, you know. But anyway, so I started writing. I'm gonna read this to you, and so only when I read it over, I realize. Only when I read it over, I really thought of it. But when I was writing it, right, it was late at night, and I was in bed, and I just had this burning, and I just had to write it. So I just started writing. But I'm gonna read it for you, so you could see. Hold on. Okay. I'm gonna show you how I did it. Okay. Okay, so listen to this, right? So I'm talking about my first kid was with one of my exes, right? So I'm talking about it, and I spoke about how it was hard to tell my mom because we grew up in a Christian house and that kind of stuff. So that when that happened, it was hard to go to tell my mom because I was young and I was broke, right? But then eventually I did tell my mom. I didn't even have to tell her. She saw me, and she said, "Yo, this girl, she pregnant," you know.
Yeah,
and
moms know.
Yeah, and then but my mom don't even live here. She came here.
Yeah.
You know, and she was like, "Yeah, I know she was pregnant, right?"
Yeah.
So after I told her, I wrote this. For the next few weeks, I threw myself into excitement of being a dad. I was at every doctor's appointment, planning our future, dreaming of names. I wanted something unique and powerful, something that would fit in, that would fit no matter who this little person turned out to be. Zion, I thought. Strong, universal. I was ready to do whatever it took to be the dad I never had. Right? Then came the day when everything shifted. We were at the doctor's. Oh, we were at the doctor's. Her belly was growing. Our hopes was rising. And then silence, no heartbeat. The doctor's words cut through the air like ice. Each syllable colder than the last. What do you mean there's no heartbeat? I wanted to shout, to scream, to rewind time to just 5 minutes earlier when everything still made sense. But there was nothing. Just a quiet room and the echo of a life that would never be. Losing a baby is the kind of pain that I would never wish on anyone. It doesn't just break your heart, it shatters you in ways you can't even describe. That was the last time I saw her. The vision of my little girl that I dreamed of. She was gone. A face I could no longer picture in the depths of my mind. You know, so the name of the book that I'm writing is Diary of a Loner, the lonely phase. And I'm talking about how like we go through these periods of life where we feel like broken, you know? And those periods in life supposed to make you stronger, even though it could make you way, way worse if you don't pay attention to it, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like when I was younger, I broke my leg, and I remember going to the doctor, and the doctor saying, "Look at it this way: if you break your leg, it's actually stronger because it grows back stronger." And sometimes for you to grow, be stronger, you have to be broken. And it happens to everyone. Yeah. Everyone gets broken. Everyone has a point in their life where they're broken. You know, and if you take this time to be involved with the wrong people or to be around different like the wrong things, it could really make you way worse than you was before, because you could get caught up in drugs or sexual habits or whatever, right? But that just goes to show for me, like I just went through my phase, and now I look back on it, and me writing that, I was like, you know, bro, I think I need therapy. Because there's a lot of things that I didn't even remember. Like, I didn't even remember this. Like, I remember that I had a baby that died. Yeah. Right? But I didn't remember how I felt in the moment. You know, and all these steps that we took, and it's stuff that I realized with trauma, I just let go. Like, even sometimes I'll be arguing with not even arguing. We have conversational arguments.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure.
That's when,
that's
when I'm having a conversation, but she's arguing.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember this one time, she's like, "Oh, tell me one thing that I did," or something like that. You know, and I actually, bro, I literally cross off trauma from my mind. So if you do me something bad, and I love you and I forgive you, I'll never remember. Because I'll be like, you know, I don't remember, because if I remember, I would just remember how much I'm angry. You know, so I just leave it.
Right.
You know, and all that is signs of undealt with trauma.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. Nah, it's a certain weight lifted off your back too when you able to talk about it. And then it's like, there's a lot of things that I talk about in my sessions. It's like, I thought that I was over, but then when I start talking about them, I get those same feelings that I had when it happened. Like those same emotions, angry emotions, confused emotions, sad, whatever. That, like, I had those same emotions as if it just happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, these are things that happened years ago. Like, and the fact that I'm still attached to them and I thought that I wasn't, it's like, it just goes to show, like, no, this is something I need to talk about. This is something I need to get through, because it's going to only help me navigate through life when I get older and have to deal with this similar situation. It's like, now if I deal with it again, if I happen to deal with it again, I know how to deal with it in a more mature way. And it's like, I'm not dealing with it. Once I deal with it, it won't even bother me no more. Yeah. So it's definitely, if you think about doing a therapy, do it.
Yeah,
and it's a thing that's like, you're gonna have to do. I feel like I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, because I might get past a certain situation, but I know tomorrow, the next week or next month, something else is gonna happen.
Yeah.
So it's like now I gotta be able to deal with
Yeah.
that process as
It's
well.
like going to the gym, right? It's like everyone works out their body
Yeah.
and they eat right, you know,
Yeah.
and work out the body. But therapy is more like getting your mind right.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
and
when you got your mind right, everything else
definitely, because
just
you can
comes
be a
better.
better person for everybody,
Yeah,
right?
for
You can be a
everything.
better father. You can be
Yeah,
a
like
better
yo,
human.
yeah, like whatever you doing, like you going to work, you working out, whatever you building on your career, to be able to do that with a clear mind is like your work and everything you put out is gonna show that you in a better place. Like it's
Definitely.
just gonna show. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hopefully I could get my mind to do it. I'm subconsciously, I think I'm just scared to go back to that place.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah,
In my mind, I'm like, you know what? I go out and I'm free, but I keep having these visions, bro, of like me being me
Mhm.
and entering this room that's like, it's like dark, but there's like all these younger versions of me
Mhm.
chained to walls,
Mhm.
crying,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's literally because I never really let them go, I never
Yeah.
set them free, right?
Yeah.
So they're just there and I'm just living my life. But it's just easier to not think about them
Right.
than to
Yeah.
think about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me to become, I need to set them free and I need to think about them. So it's a weird place to be.
It is. It's uncomfortable, but it's uh, it's only uncomfortable because we like being comfortable, and we like being inside uh
Comfort
what's
zone.
familiar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever's familiar, even if it's bad, like we love that. But it's okay to be uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's only uncomfortable because it's unknown.
Yeah.
But once you get to know it and tap into that side,
It's different.
yeah, it's different. Yeah, exactly.
So what could we expect from you in uh, in the future?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I wouldn't even say in the future because that would seem like a big time.
Yeah, yeah.
Within the next year.
Right, right, yeah. Nah, I mean, of course, my debut album, Soul Food. I've been working on that for like 2 to 3 years now. It's just been a process of just being working through certain songs, picking the right songs. You know, uh it's been a process of like, you know, going through life, and then making sure that what I go through, and I put whatever I put on to the music, that it sits right with my spirit. You know what I'm saying? So of course, Soul Food dropping November 28th. That's what I got coming next. Um and then yeah, just continue to work. Work on new projects, work with the visuals, dropping short films. Gonna do a lot of content with short films. Um, and then finish school, of course, and then just cross over to, the audio post production of film and stuff, getting into
Yeah.
film. And yeah, man,
Wait,
just continue to stay.
the
Go ahead.
short film that you guys doing right
Yeah.
now, are you gonna be doing Foley and stuff?
Nah, not yet. Not yet. I'm not doing anything for that yet. But I did,
You should try it, bro. Let's practice. Let's like do some
Yeah.
Foley,
yeah,
like
do some Foley.
yeah, do like
Yeah.
some footsteps or
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I am doing I am in, like I said, I'm in school right now for the audio post production. So I'm still kind of on my learning tip
yeah.
right now. But when I lead the program, and got the full knowledge of how things are going, I definitely want to experiment with my own stuff. Like, as far as the filming, I'm already, setting up tripods,
Yeah.
making content for myself. So, but just do a deeper dive into like making a whole production, is
Yeah,
just being a one-man
Definitely.
team.
And audio is important.
Yeah.
But what I would advise you to do, and I don't use say advice because I'm not telling you should do this.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like what I did was before I went into film school, I did the film that we did so that I could see when I'm done the growth that we had, right?
Yeah.
So like even with the short film that I do now, if you was to do your own Foley, like for that short film, Stefan and I, we did Foley for it.
Yeah.
And so like for instance the whip pan that
Yeah.
we had to use like a whisk and a spoon and like drag it on a couch
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
to get our whip sound.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
so it's still a fun experience.
It's a fun process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
then when you get the knowledge, then you go back and you look back and say, "Yo, I sucked, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
was I
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
bro?"
Yeah.
You
But
know?
it's all experience. Like,
Exactly.
you feel me? So yeah, like, that's what just pretty much in stores. Like, just continue to stay, consistent. Really.
Yeah.
Like, continue to grow. Continue to see
and
what I
film is
can.
fun.
Yeah.
Film is fun.
Continue to see.
It's broke. It's
Mhm.
broke for the first couple of times, but
Yeah.
for the first couple of months. But bro, like it's just fun to create a world that could be without the
Mhm.
world that is. I don't know if that makes sense.
Mm.
You know, but you have fun. It's good that you're doing it because you could you obviously would make like money from it,
Mhm.
but initial feeling with it is never to make money.
Mhm.
Is more for the passion, and then the money will come because
Yeah.
you're so passionate about it.
Yeah.
You'll be like, yo, this guy is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Now for me, man, it's like it's go mode. It's time to lock in and turn up. Like, I've been for so long. I feel like I just been stagnant and complacent with where I'm at, and I just recently had an itch to, like, I need to do more. Like, I want more. So the only way I'm gonna get more is if I do more.
yeah,
So it's
definitely.
like right now, I'm like just on a like on like a mindset of like, if I really want this to happen, like, I gotta go out there and make those things happen.
Yeah.
Like, so right now it's just me of just being consistent with the music, being consistent with switching over to the film stuff and audio stuff, and it's learning, just continue to just better myself mentally.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Just
And
go through
always
the
have something to sell, bro.
yeah
Always
for
have,
sure.
be like Hustle Man.
Yeah.
You know Hustle
Yeah.
Man?
Yeah.
Martin? From
What's his name?
Martin?
Yeah. From Martin. What's his name?
Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have something for sale for sure.
Yeah. That'd be like Hustle Man, bro. Always have something to sell.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's crazy because I mean, like, now I know that PDD going through all these things, but one thing I used to always say about PDD is that every single interview he had something to sell.
Mhm.
He's like, yo, I have my boy City coming out, get a City, yo. Like he was always selling something, selling Ciroc, selling. And I'm not saying that what he do was right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that every time you see him, he was selling something.
Yeah, you gotta be a walking billboard.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's what he was.
Yeah.
Honestly, bro.
Right. And that's the next step. Like, that's like to be
A brand.
a brand. Yeah. Like, you want to be a brand, something that people can get behind and make sure that whatever the brand is, it's like it's meaningful.
You,
Yeah, it's authentic, it's meaningful, but it's something that's like, could be universal. Yeah.
Exactly. I know.
Sure.
And then what Jay-Z said, he said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
So
For
like, yeah, bro. So like once, but I think for you had your brand down pack. You
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you will always be you.
For sure.
And for me, I'm more random. That's why I changed my name on Instagram to the random fella.
Yeah.
Because I feel like my thoughts are just so scattered.
Yeah.
In terms of what I think is value and what is not value.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like being funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like being serious.
For sure.
Sometimes I like doing film. Sometimes I like, there's so much different components. Like I like film, I like family, and I do feel like I should separate them. I feel like they could all be one
For
and
sure.
become one brand. It could be everything. So that's why I changed my name to the random fella.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you could tell everybody like where to find you and that kind of stuff. And
Yeah. So you can reach me on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? Cameron James Official, FTF. In my link, in my bio, there's my link for all my music on my social media. And yeah, everybody just gear up to listen to Soul Food, my debut album, my first album. I put a lot into this, you know what I'm saying? So I hope it's received how, I planned out to give it to the people. It's honest, it's vulnerable, it's fun, it's deep, and it's relatable, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, just follow me. I follow back, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm never the person to be like, you reach out to me, I also reach back. Like, you send comments, and on my YouTube, I like recently just went back and replied to everybody
boy.
who left comments from maybe years ago, like because I just want to be able to interact with people and get that engagement and just making sure that on the way up that the people who interact with me that I continue to
Yeah.
to show that love back. But yeah, Cameron James Official FTF. That's where you can find everything on Instagram. And yeah, just follow me. Stay in tune. I got a lot of stuff coming up, and it's more of like I'm about to just show them instead of tell them this time. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
It's just and keep my foot on their necks. Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so I know that's been a long time in the making.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for coming on.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
And hopefully we could get a next one probably next year or something. to
Yeah,
figure
for
out how
sure.
things go.
Yeah, like definitely. Let's get another one next year. I'm gonna be dropping another album that's like 5 years in the making, but that's
Yeah.
like my baby or whatever that I'm gonna be dropping. But yeah, we could definitely link back up and see where we at as far as the growth. I know in a year or two that we both gonna
It'll
be
be
in different
different.
positions for
Yeah,
sure.
bro.
Like we could touch back on the therapy, see where you at in your head and shit, and just have new stuff to talk about. You know what I'm saying? See where the growth is, and yeah, just give you your flowers, of course, because you created a space for people to come on here, entrepreneurs, artists, whatever, business people come on here and give them a platform and a space for them to talk what they need to talk about what they need to talk about. So what you're doing is big too. Like we didn't just talk about the music side. I
Yeah.
was able to talk about some more personal stuff.
Yeah,
and
thanks.
you was able to share your story too.
Thanks,
know?
bro. And that's the thing with this one. And this is why, like, you the first, well, not the first, but I don't really get musicians on. And it's only because, like, I want, like, a story.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit down and talk about
music.
Where you get your name from.
Yeah.
You
Where
know,
you
I
get and that's the thing with me. Like, my name's authentic. It's Cameron
Exactly,
James.
you
It's
know?
my name. Like, that's why I'm saying everything from me to my name to my brand for the fam, what I represent. It's just all 100. It's like even everything in my lyrics.
Exactly. And is the
Yeah.
person before the music. You know, it's
Yeah,
more,
yeah.
like
for
the music is good, but for me it's more like the person. When it's the person in the music would be good or bad.
Yeah.
You know, like if I was to talk to you right now and you was just sipping lean and saying,
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay,
Nah,
this
the music, but not
is-
only that, it's like I like. It's like some people like. I'm not the person really to separate the person from the artist. That's just me. But like I know for me, like when I see certain artists and like I could love their music, but when they sit down and have an interview and they don't know how to articulate themselves,
You're done.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not gonna listen to them as much as I thought. Or like if what they saying in the music don't add up to what they do in real life, or even like their music could be good and I go see them at a show, but they can't perform.
Exactly.
And it's like they have no experiences on stage. It's like you're just a rapper.
I feel that's
you're not an artist.
That's so common today with rappers. Is like I remember being a kid and seeing rappers and being like, yo, this guy looks so cool. And now you see rappers and they're like, yo, I think I'm cooler than this person.
Yeah,
this
for sure.
And I would never hang out with this person.
Yeah, for sure.
Like this person is definitely a loser, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and it's weird because the rappers used to be like, yo, this person is sick. Like even though you look at like Rakim and those guys, and you're like, yo, that guy's still so sick, bro.
Yeah.
But then you see these other rappers dressing like, I didn't even want to say.
Yeah. But I know what you're saying. I know where you're going. Yeah. I know where you're going with it.
But it's good to see and it's good to talk to people who. It's not just about the music. I don't want to just talk about music because one of the biggest reasons why I take so long to get musicians is because I don't want, like from the time I do you, so much other rappers gonna be like, yo, I need to be on your show. And it's like, it's not, my show is not about me and it's not about you.
Right.
It's about what people could consume to help them become better.
Yeah.
You know, and for me to sit down and talk about music that do make sense or to talk about anything other than something that could give value, we're not making sense. And you being you today will help your music. Because people be like, yo, this guy went through all this shit. I can't listen to music because this person real.
Yeah.
You know? He's a real person on the inside. He understand.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's like it's a weird place, and I don't wanna say it's in a way that I disrespect any other musician or whatever.
Yeah, but it's like
it's not disrespect.
Yeah,
it's
you
more
gotta
like,
I want what's your story?
Exactly.
Like,
you know, like, exactly. Like what's the story that we could talk about and help people go through the story?
Yeah.
And what's it growth?
Right.
You know, so I think I hear my kids up through the door.
Yeah,
you're gonna hear noise now. But thanks for coming, bro.
Yeah. It's all good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I
lit.
told
It's
you,
lit.
bro. I
It's
told you,
lit.
bro. I told you. The
And we got
noise.
yeah. Keep this in. No, it's real. It's what happens.
Yeah,
It's,
bro. The
yeah.
noise, bro. The noise. They're gonna come and open the door right now and
Yeah.
and scream my name. You'll see.
It's all good.
Yeah, so this is the next episode of Young and Gifted. Young and Gifted is sponsored by Duns Productions and Actionable Barbershop. Actionable Barbershop, London's finest, on the corner of Oxford and Richmond. Book today. And yeah, I'm gonna see you guys again soon. I'm gonna let you guys listen to the noise. I hopefully the audio picks this up.
Yeah. Keep that in. Keep all that in.
Yeah.
Keep all that in. Yeah. We need that.
See? So it's real. It's real, bro. The noise is real, bro.
It's a grind. It's the hustle. It's the process.
I hear it from outside the house.
Yeah, it's the process, man. Now, thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Thanks
yeah,
for
bro.
having me.
Thanks
For
for
sure.
coming.
Appreciate you.
Yes, bro.